Hello YouTube and welcome to video number 3. Today I'm going to talk about marriage, especially in the United States, especially with most of the states having a no at-fault dissolution. I'll be upfront with you, I have never wanted to get married. Literally since I was like 11 or 12 or 13, I've just seen the way that for the most part, women can treat men and what women get away with men. My main reasons for not wanting to get married are pretty simple. I feel that in a relationship, the male takes on more risk than the female. When you think about this, obviously, there's going to be exceptions to every rule, right? We all must understand that. But for the most part, the woman typically only takes on a emotional risk when getting into a relationship or marriage, usually leaning on the man in the relationship to pay the bills, pay her bills from before the marriage, get her credit up and running, and pay for the groceries and so on and so forth. And I know that people out there are going to start screaming that, oh my God, it's the $ current year, and women are able to get jobs and able to do this and able to do that. And I agree. Yes, they are. But when it comes to around the house things and bills and things like that, at least from my personal experience in relationships, I've been the one doing all of the paying and she's been doing all of the saving. And when you roll this over into a marriage, especially a marriage where there are children involved, the statistics are ridiculous on the number of women who are awarded the children, who are awarded massive alimonies and massive child supports. And alimony, okay, fine. I really think that should be abolished. After all, it is the current year, right? But child support, right? Child support's a little bit of a stickier wicket. I really feel that whoever the parent is that is awarded the child and thus awarded child support should be forced to prove how they are spending that money. A very good friend of mine is still dealing with a divorce from many, many years ago. And his ex-wife has no job. And you obviously can't see me, but I'm doing that in air quotes. But does have a job and is almost never at home with her kid. However, he cannot get the child support adjusted. And this woman and her bum boyfriend and her kid and his kid all live in this house, except for she is gone most of the week at a job in a different city when she's not supposed to have a job. However, the judges won't do anything about it because she's a she. I mean, there's no other reason besides she's a she. And she has she's just awful to him, and she's awful to the kid. And that's the worst part, is that this poor kid, I mean, they just plop him in front of the TV and they really don't pay much attention to him. He basically feeds himself. They're just never around to help him out, and it really kind of makes me sick. But the judge won't hear any of this. Even she won't listen to the child's testimony. She won't do anything. Or excuse me, he is, the judge in this case is a he. And he will not do anything. Not a thing to help that child. So here my friend is spending God knows how much on child support to support this household that he's not even a part of anymore. And when it is time for his visitation, she's late, or, she takes him someplace where he's not supposed to be and making it difficult for him to pick him up. It's just ridiculous. So I said all of that to say this, that when it comes to dissolution of marriage, the scales are so skewed towards women that it's totally not worth it for you to do anything or get married as a man. And if you can't see this, you're either a hopeless optimistic person, or you're hopelessly romantic, or you're just in denial. Besides those practical reasons why I have no interest in getting married, part of the reason that I no longer even date. I've literally just become celibate. I don't date anymore because I just can't handle women in general, especially here in the United States. for the most part, they just seem, or at least the ones that I happen to run into, are very fake. You know, they are all into what can you do for me, and I don't have to do anything for you because there's a million other men out there who are after me. And that may be true. I don't care anymore. It's not worth the games. I can spend $300 on a date, or I can go spend $300 on a prostitute. And at least with the prostitute, I know I'm going to get laid at the end of the night. Yeah, I know. That sounds sick and twisted and horrible and whatever. You know what? It's time that we as men stood up. It's time. Right? We've let the feminist movement, we've let it poison the well for far too long. And I'm not saying we need to take rights away from women. I'm saying that we need to turn this into a true equality movement. Feminism is not about equality. No, feminism, as its namesake, is about women's rights, which is why they never bring up these issues about the unfair treatment of men in the court systems. They don't bring up the unfair treatment of men in the court systems in general. There are statistics out there, if you go look on Google and just about anywhere, which will show you that you can have a man and a woman do the same exact crime, the same exact way, and I think it was like 83% of the time, the woman will get off with a much lower sentence. That's pretty impressive. But this is why I say we need to pull in these reins. It's time, right? It has gone too far. And I'll probably do another video about this at some time, at some point in the future, about all of the things in the world that have just gone too far. There's a lot of stuff that's just gone too far. And probably the least provable thing, the least provable piece of why I have absolutely no interest in women anymore is quite simply, it's really hard to find a woman who wants to please her man, right? It's not hard to find a man who wants to please their women, right? That's all the vast majority of us, I would say. You know, it's pre-wired, pre-programmed into our heads to try to please and protect women. There's not a whole lot we can do about it. Obviously, again, there are exceptions. The exceptions to the rules, and the exceptions to the rules typically prove the rules. It's so rare to find a woman who actually wants to make her man happy, right? It almost feels like, it almost seems like if their man is happy, they try to find something to make them unhappy, right? You know, those rare occasions where you're kicking back on a Sunday afternoon watching a football game and she decides you're too happy and decides to start bringing up shit that happened 6, 8, 10, 12 months ago for no other reason than you're happy. I can't be coerced into believing that they've been sitting on it for 6, 8, 12 months stewing and deciding that this is the right time to do it. That doesn't fit with me, especially as much as women like to just talk in general. So anyways, this is just a quick video. I just wanted to, just get some of my opinions out there about, how women treat relationships nowadays and how the court systems treat the dissolution of relationships and how wrong it really is. I mean, this is probably one of the greater injustices against men in the world right now. Unless you're white. If you're a white man, then forget it. Nobody loves you. You are the most hated entity on the face of the planet right now, and I'm sorry. So tune in for next week's video, which will be all about the things that have gone too far. And oh boy, there's a lot of them. I hope I don't have to make it a multi-part. Alright guys. Peace.